What's up, everyone? Happy Monday. It's Miles here, sharing with all of you the promised training. It's a wonderful day here in Zurich. You might be able to hear the birds singing in the background. It's wonderful. I'm feeling excited, as always, on Mondays, and even more excited sharing something awesome with all of you. We had some struggles with the actual training that we shared with our clients. So there were some privacy stuff and so on. So we weren't able to use that version. So I kind of need to create that whole training again to share it with all of you guys who wanted the training. But anyways, super, super excited to share it with all of you. Let's get into it right away. So what are we going to do today? So simply, I'm going to share with all of you 6 effortless ways to book strategy sessions, right? So it's all about creating an unlimited opportunity volume without actually spending a dime on ads. And the simple reason why I'm doing this here is, well, do you know how there are so many service providers or consultants out there kind of wrecking their ass up trying to get momentum going through organic outreach? Might be through sending tons of outreach cold emails, sending tons of messages, or even worse, bashing out those 100 cold calls a day, or I don't know what all those other gurus are recommending out there. But after all, we all here are different, right? We are looking for a solution that is faster, more efficient, and kind of less annoying and kind of less exhausting. So this is why this year is really important, this session, because I'm going to show you guys precisely how to actually fill your pipeline, be awesome, having a bigger impact, having a bigger income with a kind of different approach on how to actually get your pipeline filled. So let's get into it. Hope you all are freaking excited, because I am. Let's do this. Now, here's what we are going to cover. Simple and straightforward. Some important context before we get rolling. Rules to make this a success. The actual 6 ways to book strategy sessions. And then I'm going to give you guys access to something if you wanted, just to give you guys some inspiration. Kind of like a swipe file, something fancy. But we're going to talk about that in a bit. Now, some important context before we get rolling. So what I'm going to share with you in today's session works on every social media platform. It's literally the same flow, no matter if you use LinkedIn, if you use Facebook, if you use Instagram, whatever. Just there's one little thing, the language. The language is different on every single platform. So if you kind of want to, like, the difference between Instagram and Facebook is huge, right? Instagram is this happy, oh, Siri, what's up? So Instagram is this super happy platform. People are looking for inspiration. People are getting excited by rented Lamborghinis, rented mansions, and it's all about this fancy inspiration, nice quotes and stuff like that. While on Facebook, people are more willing to expose their problems, to talk about probably the more negative things in life, kind of looking for help. And you want to leverage those different languages, right? So you won't have much success with the language you use on Facebook on Instagram. So with that in mind, it works on every single social media platform. And the simple outcome of using those 6 ways I'm going to share with all of you guys is to actually get people raise their hands, showing you that they're willing to book a strategy session with you, or simply straightforward booking a call right away. I don't know how you manage your business. You might do it like in-person meetings, or you do strategy sessions on the phone. It works both ways. Absolutely up to you. This is why this is so freaking exciting. Now, all you need to get people raising their hands or to book a call with you is first and foremost your ideal avatar alignment and a 6-figure offer. This is something we dive deep into with our clients from Influence and Impact Coaching, simply because everything stands and falls with your ideal avatar alignment and six-figure offer. You need to know what your clients want or your prospect wants. How does their prison look like? How does the vision look like? What is it that they hate about their life? And how do they describe their current situation? What verbiage are they using? And you need to know who your ideal client is. Who are the clients you can deliver results for? Who are the clients you want to work with? Who are the clients you're most passionate about to help today? This is so important to build and run a sustainable business. Without having that foundation, you build a skyscraper on sand, which is not a solid foundation. And then obviously, when you figured out who your ideal client is, you want to craft something we call a six-figure offer, right? So your offer needs to strike a nerve. So when you figured out who your ideal avatar is and figured out what he wants, you want to give him something that strikes a nerve, something that when he reads it, when he sees it, when you present it, it's like, wow, I need this. This is exactly what I need. You know exactly what I need. It seems like you open it up, my daily diary, and know exactly the solution to all my problems. This is when your offer strikes a nerve. So it's super important to actually dial in your offer. Then secondary, a little less important, is a small or a big audience. Even better if you have like a bigger audience that is listening to you, because if no one's listening to you, it's going to be hard to book strategy sessions, right? You need to have a certain amount of people listening to you, but most people totally overcomplicate this. You don't need a Facebook group with 1,000 of members. You don't need a Facebook profile stashed with 5,000 friends. You don't need a massive email list. Simply, what you need is it's people listening to you, your target market listening to you, and be willing to continuously growing your audience while you grow your business, right? Then next to that, you need, decent copywriting skills and messaging skills. Here's the big part about copywriting. Decent copywriting doesn't come from going to buying expensive courses, hiring the best coaches, and so on. I did that and it helped me a lot, but decent or badass copywriting comes from understanding your ideal avatar. Because overall, great copy, the goal of great copy is that people resonate with what you write. And the best way to make people resonate with you is using the verbiage they use when they describe something they love or hate. If you can use and leverage the same verbiage, people will resonate with you in a way deeper level. So this is why you actually don't need to be a copywriting badass, but it goes back to really understanding who your ideal avatar is and having a dialed in offer. And then about messaging, obviously you want to be solid and actually talking with humans, right? Talking with humans, building those relationships and leading those relationships into actually a point where you can help that person. So you want to know how to message with people. If you feel like that this is something you need help with, there is actually a free Effortless Messenger conversion training available. People go nuts about it. I was giving it away 2 weeks ago. There is actually a post on my wall, which you can check out. It's an awesome training, will help you a lot, which is already reaching out to people and will help you in your outbound game. You guys all know that I'm an opponent of the actual, it's a numbers game, because it actually isn't. It's not always a numbers game. This is just some excuse for most people that they can reach out to 600 people and book one meeting. It's just a bullshit, right? Obviously, your volume matters. To as more people you reach out to, as more successful or as more people will respond to you. But even more important is the efficiency of your messages, right? There's a simple reason why my clients, wet behind the ear clients, come to me and book 3 to 4 strategy sessions a day right from the get-go, simply because they know how to communicate with a human being. If you want to have access to that training, hit me up via Messenger. Go check out my feed. there's a post. It has a couple hundred comments on it, so you will find it 100%. Now, some other important stuff here is what I figured, being in the trenches, observing the market for over like 1.5 years now is, and obviously working with clients, is that simply most people don't hit their income goals just because they don't make enough offers. They put out a lot of value. They are on Facebook Live all the time. They're on Instagram Live all the time. And they really want to help people with what they know, which is fine, which is good. I'm doing the same, but kind of without doing those offers, you will never be able to really deliver people that transformation that you're actually able to offer when people end up as your clients. So most people just ask way too less for the next step, right? They expect other people reaching out to them, which is down the road just selfish. Like expecting that people reach out to you, book a call with you is simply selfish, right? So you need to be willing to be that leader, having that strong leadership frame, be willing to ask people for the next step and actually make more offers. Now, there's the complete opposite of people out there in the market. It's a little less people actually, which is good. Like, I mean, like social media would be horrible if the majority of those people would be like tier 2, the kind of people that are simply doing offers. They don't offer any value. All they do is simply like putting out offers, putting out salesy content, putting out pushy content, and all they, like you smell it from far away that all they actually want is your money and wanting to make a quick buck. So obviously this doesn't work as well. I'm going to give you a sneak peek in what we actually teach our clients to find the perfect moment to actually ask for a next step, a good moment to just share value. I'm going to share with you a fancy sneak peek in a little bit. Now, obviously here as well, going back to making too much offers or way too less offers is your frequency, variation, and consistency, which is key, right? You want to have, like, you want to vary between your content. If you just put out offers, well, people start to ignore you. But if you only put out like high authority value content, people will ignore it as well. It's the same thing. When I continuously knock my table for 15 minutes, well, it's might annoying for you right now. But if I would continuously do that for 15 minutes, you would start to ignore it and you wouldn't hear it anymore. Same thing with your content. If you continuously, if you just put out value content, people just don't care anymore, right? So you want to bring in variation into your content output and with what you do. Then obviously like the frequency, it's important to kind of like touch your audience often. So I highly recommend to get in front of your audience at least once a day. But this obviously goes down to your strategy, to your goals, whatever you want to achieve. Then as in everything in business, your consistency is key. Way too many people just give up too early, right? They don't get a lot of engagement. They try to put content out there, didn't achieve anything after like a month that they're like, all right, this just doesn't work. And kind of confusing to me because, well, we are like just me, I'm booking 70 strategy sessions a month minimum just through my content output without even including my outbound marketing. So it works. My clients are the same thing, like literally within 2 or 3 weeks implementing the TLA client attraction system, they generate between 2 to 3, probably 5 meetings or strategy sessions a day. So it works no matter in which industry you're into. It's like simply goes back to content marketing. Content marketing is a big deal for so long. Most people just don't know how to leverage it. Then every organic post you publish is an asset. A little bit different than actually ads, right? So I have certain posts on my feed that generate me every single week between 2 to 3 calls alone, right? And they are like month old, like 2-3 month old, and they're still generating strategy sessions. So organic posts are really an asset you want to leverage no matter where you're at with your business. Like, doesn't matter if you make 60 grand a month, you still want to do organic, right? Because it's just an asset and it is powerful. And you will find yourself, knowing your ideal avatar, you will find yourself attracting way higher quality leads through organic than actually your ads. But this is a topic for another day. I quickly want to give you guys an overview on how I want you guys to see your whole target market. So let's imagine for a second a juicy chocolate cake. You know those cakes when you kind of like, they have like this chocolate in it, and as soon as you kind of like which like that chocolate that is, my God, English is not my first language. Just like those with that liquid chocolate in it. I guess you know what I mean. Those super, super delicious, I guess they are coming from France. I'm not sure. Those French cakes, those chocolate cakes. Let's just imagine for a second that your market is one of those cakes. Now, your market is actually splitted into couple lanes. Or to make this more understandable, 50% of that whole cake, 50% of your whole target market will actually never buy from you. No matter how good you are, no matter how many testimonials you put out there, they just won't buy from you. It's just not a good fit. It just won't end up in a client. No matter what you do. Then basically 40% of your market is what we call the slow lane. Slow lane are the kind of people that buy from you within like between 90 days and 180 days. Those are the people that need a little more time, that need to kind of get sold, that need to get kind of problem aware. They need to get educated a little more, and they need some more time to actually make the decision. And then we have like another 10%, which are the fast lane. And within those 10%, 1% are actually the now buyers that kind of like jump on a phone call with you and end up as a client right away. So our focus is obviously on finding the people that are on that fast lane or buying from you right now, because those are the kind of clients that drive your business, that drive your cash flow. So your opportunity to have the biggest impact. Obviously, I was talking about assets. We don't want to forget, we don't want to ignore the other 90%. What we want to do here is to keep them in our ecosystem. So kind of inviting them into our Facebook group or in our email list to keep them engaged, keep them in our ecosystem, continuously follow up, checking in with them, so that at one point when they are ready, that you are here for them and being able to deliver them the best solution to actually get them from point A to point B. But here, what I want you to take away from this slide is that our main focus is on those 10% of your market that buy within 90 days or like now. And this is why we actually want to leverage content to filter those people out. We want to get those hand raisers from people that are ready to solve their problem, ready to get moving. Because if you just use outbound marketing, you can't really filter them, which makes it kind of exhausting, which makes you talk to a lot of people simply because you will talk to the majority of people you talk with are just not ready to buy yet. And it takes a while to just find those 10% or like that 1% that buys from you right now. This is why we want to leverage content, the TLA client attraction system, to kind of filter those people out. I hope you guys are all excited. Let's quickly take a sip of water for a second, because what we get into right now is exciting. Now, some rules to make a success. Rules are always important. Some house rules, right? So kind of rules are here to break, but I kind of tried to break those rules. Didn't went well. So you kind of want to follow those rules. Now, I was talking about that before. You want to vary between your content, which goes back to the TLA client attraction system, which I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek in a second. But I mentioned it before. You don't just want to put out those offer posts or those techniques I'm going to share with you in a second. You want to vary between content. So to focus on bonding, attracting, pre-selling, selling, delivery, you want to vary between your content, which is super, super crucial. Then here back again, like everything goes back to understanding who your avatar is, what your avatar wants, what he don't want, what excuses he's making, what verbiage he's using. As more you kind of have research about that, and as more you're in the trenches with actual prospects and clients, as better you will understand your avatar. And then obviously next to it, you want to know the ins and outs of your offer so that you can package it into content, into your communication, and really strike that nerve. And after all, having an impact on people. Then here's the thing. I was talking about it before. Way too many people just give up too early. So patience, guys. Rome wasn't built in one day, right? And if some 16-year-old kid from YouTube tells you he built a 7-figure business within 90 days, you can believe it, but you will never get far believing those kind of people. Right? So be patient, have a big dream, have a big vision, but be patient until like those positive feedback loops kick in. I'm not going to dig deep into feedback loops, but they are life. They're uber important. Just under like doing something until traction kicks in, which goes back to your consistency. Staying consistent and not expecting that using what I'm going to share with you will book you 70 strategy sessions right away within the first week, right? Then here as well, understanding the growth mindset. I don't know if you guys know Carol Dweck. She wrote an awesome book around 2 mindsets. One of those mindsets is the growth mindset. Basically just understanding that you want to embrace failure, right? Because you learn the most being in the trenches, fucking things up, and be willing to actually grow, right? Just because you are not good in something yet doesn't mean you can get better in it. So some people of you might struggle with copywriting, which doesn't mean that you should leverage it. Copywriting is, in my opinion, by far one of the best skills you can learn. So just be willing to fuck things up, be willing to just put things out there, to be willing to be imperfect, and to be willing to really live in that growth mindset and understand that you can get better in everything you want to get better in. 6 ways to book strategy sessions. Let's talk about the meat and bread here. I hope you guys are all excited. We basically teach our clients in the TLA client attraction system 4 different ways of content, 4 different types of content, or basically, 4 different types of content, which is basically teach content, engage content, you content, and offer action content. We are going to focus heavily, or basically only, on those offer and action posts, because most of you, I don't know, you put some stuff out there already, you put your name out there, you leverage some sort of social media, you leverage some sort of your audience, might not with a lot of success yet, but we're gonna focus on those fast wins for a second, because I want you guys to get some strategy sessions booked right away. So we're gonna focus heavily on those offer and action type of content that actually leads to strategy sessions. And here's a simple thing where we actually need to leverage offer and action content, simply because most people won't move forward unless you ask. And here's the thing, especially the ones who need you the most are the most scared to actually ask you for help. So it's important that we kind of help them moving forward, that we kind of hear for them and kind of start to filter out who are those people that actually need us right now. Promise you guys, giving you some sneak peeks into the TLA client attraction system, which is something I'm super uber proud of. Took me a couple of years to actually come up with it. So before we dig into that, who of you did ever put out on social media a piece of content kind of hoping that it will strike a nerve, ending up or finding yourself not getting 1 like or 1 comment, or like not booking a strategy session out of it? Raise your hands if you ever found yourself in that situation, like kind of not knowing if your content will strike a nerve or not, and just kind of like basically, oh, I just put something out there and we'll see how it goes. Who of you find yourself in that situation once? Raise your hands. If you just raise your hands, you're like most other people leveraging organic marketing. Most people in the industry, they just put something out there, hope that kind of shit sticks on the wall, kind of hope that they get something out of it, but they actually have like no system or like proper strategy behind it to really understand when something strikes a nerve, when it's the right timing to ask, when it's the right timing to focus on attracting bonding, building authority, And probably some of you in here as well want you to raise your hand as well. Are you using some sort of tracking systems? Do you kind of know what content strikes a nerve, what content is more about to kind of bond, creating that relationships, just having like some sort of tracking out there and having some sort of idea what you're actually doing? Raise your hand. Right? There are a bunch of other people out there that kind of use and having success with organic marketing. They kind of track their content, they track performance, they kind of know what they do, but it's still like saying here that, well, yeah, sometimes I put something out there and it works, sometimes it doesn't. I get some results out of it, but to be honest, after all, there is still like, I miss out on actual data and actually knowing what works and what not. Now, what we did here, what I kind of took as like a kind of a life mission, or not a life mission, but an important mission, is to actually bring that whole organic marketing to another level. So I was working with tons of people out there, and kind of 99% of them are teaching organic the same way. Kind of, yeah, put content into groups, just put something out there, build your audience, kind of share with people what you do, kind of like put out value posts, sometimes add a call to action, but there's no proper system behind it. So what we did here with the TLA client attraction system and with our clients is to really systemizing the organic game. So I know down to the engagement when to ask people to raise their hands to book a strategy session with me. And I even know down to the engagement who of those people will end up in a strategy session and who of those people will actually, after all, on board as a client. So with 99% certainty, before I actually write the post, I already know how many strategy sessions I will book out of it. Simply because I understand how organic works and I want you to understand it as well. So quickly imagine the organic game like as a baseball court. I'm not a big baseball fan. We are here in Europe and Switzerland. We are more like soccer fascinated, but kind of know a little bit stuff about baseball. So for me, it's just a great way to explain how it works. So we have those four bases here, right? Which is the court, the baseball court. Then we have you as a player. And basically, it's you, it's your energy, your intention that makes you successful. If we have some people in here that believe that mindset is not important, well, you have to work on yourself first and might do some self-reflection. Because your energy and intention is probably one of the biggest indicators, if not the biggest indicator for your own success. You need to control your biology. You need to be able to leverage your energy. You need to be able to be the best version of yourself. And if you don't have that energy to be it, it doesn't matter if you have the best strategies and systems in place. I guess we can all agree on that it's important to be the best version of yourself. And next to that, it's obviously all about your intention. We can smell from miles away if you're coming from a place to just being here to make a quick buck, to sell your services, and don't really have the best interest at heart of your clients and prospects. We can just smell that. Buyer defense mechanisms are huge, especially in the entrepreneurship industry. So this is super crucial. Then the kind of the ball here is your offer. Your offer nicely packed into a piece of content, right? That strikes a nerve, that makes people want to know more about your offer and actually are willing to sketch a strategy session with you. Now, we have the court here, and the first base is basically a little different than in baseball. Let's call it crazy baseball here, that your whole audience can actually start from base one instead of just one single player, right? Now, when we hit the ball, there are three outcomes, right? We hit the ball and it goes into the foul zone. So no one of our audience can actually start running. And this goes really like, this happens to all of us. Sometimes some pieces of content just bomb. Don't get in front of your audience. It might is the Facebook algorithm or like in general the algorithms, or probably it just didn't strike a nerve. There was some mismatch in the messaging, in the content, and it just, well, yeah, doesn't get like any engagement, which is basically you hitting the foul zone with your ball. Then second outcome is that you will hit the ball and your actual audience, your actual like the people running around the bases are running a home run. This happens sometimes. You put some piece of content out there and someone schedules a call with you who never engaged with you before, you never met him before, you have never seen him before, and he just booked a call with you and ended up as a client, which I call a home run, right? But most of the time is outcome number 3. You hit the ball, it lands somewhere in the field, and people run from base to base to base. And this is basically the process we focus on as well. Now, to bring people from base number 1 to base number 2 is what we call attracting and bonding. So you might send someone a friend request, you might publish something in a Facebook group, in a LinkedIn group, and people check out your profile, right? So you want to have some pieces of content that are actually focusing on attracting and bonding, right? So this can be some me posts, some teach posts, some engaging posts, just to show people who you are, what you are about, and actually focus on building the know, love, and trust factor. You might already heard of it, but people buy from people they know, love, and trust, right? So we want to put out content that is actually focusing or building that know, love, and trust factor so that we can get all our audience from base number 1 to base number 2, right? And to get people from base number 2 to from base number 2 to number 3 is through an offer action post, which we will get deeper into in a second. Now, here's the thing about the TLA client attraction system. We have certain metrics I share with my client, and we're gonna figure out through a quick trial and error so that we know precisely when we need to put out an offer post. We have those metrics, we know those numbers. So how much engagement do we need to get on an attracting bonding post so that we can actually put out an offer post that actually strikes a nerve, so that we have enough people on actually base number 1 that it makes sense to put out an offer post, so that most of the people that started running from base number, like from that audience base here, that most of those people are actually now on base number 2. They are attracted. We created that relationship so that it is now time to actually go to base number 3, which is actually booking the strategy session and having the actual strategy session. So what we leverage here are those offer action posts that make people raise their hands or book a call with you right away, so that you can book that in-person meeting or that call and actually make the sale. So if you do the sale, this gets people to base number 3 here. And from base number 3, it's really just all about your delivery to get people from base number 3 to base number 4. And hopefully through a backend program that you have, you get people run a home run again through enrolling, onboarding into your backend program, and after all, ending up as a long-term client. I hope this made kind of sense, but you kind of want to, when you want to start to systemize your organic game, I would highly recommend you to start to input such system. As always, if you need any help with this, on the page, there is a link where you can actually book a call with me, where we can dig deeper into that, figure out how we can implement that stuff into your business and how that whole TLA attraction client system actually works. So I hope that makes sense for you. We will see that picture later on again, but now let's get into the meat and bread. Finally! Woo! So there are 6 ways of content that we leverage to book strategy sessions. So there are announcement posts and 2-step organic posts, which are, in my opinion, the drivers of my business and my clients' businesses. They literally work like ads if you follow what we talked about before, and if you kind of like understand your avatar and know the ins and outs of your offer. Then we have handful posts, brag posts, case study posts, curiosity posts, which are super simple. They don't require any copywriting skills. You can literally just copy paste what I will share with you guys, but they are a little less important. After all, as more you put into something, as more you get out of it, right? And then I will share with all of you a fancy bonus at the end of the presentation, which is the super signature, which is something I use to turn every single post into an actual offer post with a super soft call to action. I have this hay fever and my nose is making me crazy. Anyways, let's talk about announcement posts. The outcome of all of those announcement posts is to actually make people schedule a call with you right away or raise their hands in comments. Simple and straightforward. Those posts are most of the time mid-long or long-form posts. As soon as you write more copy, you want to make sure that you sell the read more button, especially like on Facebook, Instagram, on LinkedIn, right? There's always that read more button that you can press to get like the full piece of content. So we want to sell that read more button and create extreme curiosity that actually makes people read that whole piece of content. And we do this through calling out our audience or through creating extreme curiosity in the first 3 lines. As soon as we get into the meat and bread of the piece, like of the post, we want to hit hard on their major pains. Seriously. No mercy here. We want to let them know that if they don't change now, that their ship will go under. No mercy here. It's important to stop sugarcoating people. If they have a problem, we need to solve it. And here's the thing. One of the biggest indicators that makes people decide is actually fear. So we want to create a certain amount of fear in our posts if we really want to have an impact on people and want to give them our entire solution. This goes back to knowing your avatar. You need to know what they hate about their life, right? What are the excuses they make? What is it that they feel stuck with? And what verbiage are they using to describe that issue? Then another powerful, you can combine that, you can use both or just each one of those, is actually painting a clear picture on how their life could look like with your solution. So talking about what they really want. Back again, goes to knowing what your avatar wants, knowing what their dream vision is and describing it and painting a clear picture in your prospect's mind, a vivid picture, right? Using the verbiage they use to describe their dream life. Then when we created that, we want to announce our offer, that we are looking for a certain amount of people that are willing to make this their reality in the next 90 days or something like that. And then we want to, as we sold the read more button, we want to sell the next step, the call to action. So we want to sell why they should raise their hand, why it makes sense for them, what is in it for them if they write a comment, or what is in it for them if they book a call, what is in it for them if they actually check out my calendar and talk with me on the phone. I have right here a post of mine which made me roughly, I guess, $20,000, booked me probably, I think, like 5 to 10 strategy sessions, and it's still booking. And I won't take it apart in here. This would just take up way too much time, but quickly press pause, see what I did in this post, get the inspiration, and let's move forward. You good? Awesome. Let's talk about the second way, which are the 2-step organic posts. Some of my favorite piece of content. The outcome here is to give people a free training, a free PDF, something valuable to open the door to schedule a call. Plus, it builds a lot of authority and kind of indoctrinates your audience with your stuff. This is a major asset. So I'm having certain 2-steps on my feed that are generating me every single week between 3 to 7 strategy sessions without doing something. It's like an ad just for free. This is ridiculous. So to make them a success, you need to know what your market wants, right? So if I would try to actually, like I tried it, to put out some productivity trainings, most of my audience don't want such training, so they won't engage. So you want to give them something they really want, which again goes back to knowing your ideal avatar, right? You want to sell the read more button again and evoke extreme curiosity. Like there are some certain ideas like how your training helps them achieve their goal without doing something they hate, a complete different approach to solve a problem, throwing rocks at other gurus, influencers, or how this training helps them achieve their dream outcome. Just evoking extreme curiosity. Curiosity is an extreme powerful way to actually influence people. Then you want to ask for comments and hand raisers. So if you want the training, comment training below and I send it over to you. And here, kind of important, you need a strong messenger frame, a strong messenger game to get strategy sessions booked before you actually send the training, right? If you want to know more about that, as always, you can reach out to me and we can figure things out. Here again, it's a post of mine. This one got like around 500 comments or something. Take some time, go over it, read it, see what I did there, and go try it out yourself. Alrighty, handful posts. Now, the next 4 posts we talk about, they are super simple and they are kind of like advanced. So they're simple to post, but advanced to know when to post it. So I see tons of people out there posting them, but not getting any engagement simply because they don't understand on which base their audience is right now. This will only strike a nerve if you have enough people standing on base 2 already having that relationship with them. So a handful post can be as simple as like, I'm looking for a handful of people who want to scale up to 10K profit per month in the next 90 days. Sounds crazy, I know. That's why we're only looking for people who are. You kind of want to qualify, because if you don't, might be possible that you got like a 300 people commenting and like 200 of them are not qualified. So you want to give some qualifications here. So people who are already having an offer in place, work with like 3 to 5 clients and are willing to change. If that's you, comment below, right? So you will get those hand raisers, which will allow you to actually talk with people that want to change now, which will make everything so much easier in the messenger, which will help you just to talk with the people who actually need you right now. Then we have the brag posts. They are a little different. So kind of like here's curiosity the key again. So I book 3 to 5 qualified strategy sessions a day without spending a dime on ads. Comment yes below if you want to learn my secret. Just helps you again to create those touch points with people, getting those hand raisers and helping people move forward in those spaces. Then we have case study posts. They are pretty similar to actually the brag posts or the handful posts. So looking for a couple people who want to be my next testimonials. People love to be a next testimonial. This just works. We get you from where you are right now to 10K per month within 90 days. You need to, you're going to qualify again. If we choose you, you need to be willing to post a case study. Those are working great if you have enough people standing on base 2. Curiosity posts, something I like a lot. You can as well kind of sometimes leverage them in other groups. Some people get it, some people don't, but it's super simple. So defining a new price for my offer. If we would get you to 10K per month in the next 90 days, what would you be willing to pay? So you get people comment below, or you could be as well, hey, we're just planning our next mastermind event. What would be the best location? Right? And people are like, oh, LA or whatever, something like that. And you again have that open door to actually reach out to people and talk with them. Sweet, sweet. Hope that all makes sense to you guys. Now, a bonus, the super signature. My signature move. So simply what we do with the super signature, no matter what you put out there, if it is a me post, a teach post, an engage post, whatever it is, they work best for teach posts and me posts, is simply adding a PS to it. PS. When you are ready to get to 10K per month, or it kind of like is depending on what you talked about in the post. So if you are ready to break through that vicious cycle you were talking about in the post, there are a couple of ways we can help you get there. Make sure to download my lead magnet if you have like an email list. Join my Facebook group, helps you build your audience. And if you want to skip the line, apply for our call now. You can always use that, and this is super, super powerful, below every single post to add a really soft call to action. And you will see results pretty fast, right? Now, again, if you are going to execute those strategies and you will find yourself not getting any engagement, not getting people booking a call with you, it's simply because you don't have enough people on base number 2. You didn't focus enough on that actual attracting and bonding. Now, I mentioned it before, in our rows, we have clear metrics. We know down to the engagement when to actually ask people to move forward. And we kind of now know down to the strategy sessions, like how many strategy sessions we will book out of that one post. But this is like really high level. If you already kind of know that, kind of like that you need to focus a little more on attracting and bonding to make your posts strike a nerve, awesome. Just to let you know, if something doesn't strike a nerve, if something doesn't get engagement, it's simply because you don't have enough people on base number 2. Mentioning it again, if you want to know more details about that stuff, if you need help with it, let me know. I'm just a message away and we're going to figure things out. Now, we are already close to the end of this presentation. If you need any inspiration, I'm going to put together right after that session, I guess a Google Doc or something, where I put some of my posts into that you can use as an inspiration, kind of like using some parts of it, see what I did there. If you want that, on the page, you will find actually a link to actually get your hands on it. I guess swipe files are super powerful, so would definitely recommend to get that as well. In which case, that's it. Happy booking, guys. I hope you guys will all book tons of strategy sessions. Don't forget to the rules we agreed on. I want you to report back when you get strategy sessions booked. I want you to report back for feedback, because this is why we do what we do, right? We are here to have an impact. This is what our business is all about. After all, we want to see influence and impact coaching as the most impact and success-oriented environment worldwide. So we all have to start somewhere. I would love to hear your feedback. And with that being said, happy booking, guys.